from Rampart. I'm the son of Doug Green Sr. and Patty Wheel. I'm the grandson of the late Henry Wheel Sr. and Elizabeth Wheel of Rampart, and the late Floyd Green Sr. and the late Elizabeth Green of Galena and Nolato. I was recently re-elected as the first chief and have been the tribal administrator for the Rampart Village Council for the past 3 years now. Over that 3 years, our community has come a long way on the road to success. When I first started, like Victor had said, there was only 8 people living in Rampart, and as of today, we're over 40. This is something that could not have happened without the strong support of our village council and our employees. And I'd like to thank TCC for inviting me to be the 2016 keynote speaker to tell my story of how I worked to revive my community. My first year, it wasn't easy. I had to learn everything, how to run a tribal office, and I even had to learn how to run the generators when the generator operator wouldn't show up for work. But with the help of other community tribal administrators, training and conferences, and my mom, I was able to start my new career path. That summer, we had our first ever road project for brush cutting that created temporary employment along the community streets and power lines. And after that project was complete, I was able to recruit one family to stay in Rampart for the remainder of the year by offering employment. This is when the community started its road to recovery. It felt like we finally had a reliable maintenance worker to keep the community facilities running, which helped me to better focus on the needs of our tribal office. Through TCC, we were awarded a community contract, and we hired a community planner to develop a 5-year plan which outlined the goals and objectives of our community. And that's when we put our mission statement into effect. Our mission is to revive the community of Rampart and improve the quality of life through residents, through economic development and preservation of our culture, heritage, and abundant natural resource. After our community plan was adopted, it seemed like we finally had some direction, and we hit the ground running. During this year was also when the process first started for the reopening of the school. We had found out that we were able to get the building and the land turned back over to us through the school district from the state. My second year is when I really learned how to run our tribal office by myself, I guess. I hired a consultant to teach me how to do our own accounting. I had more knowledge of funding opportunities and how to get them. And I became a better supervisor. That February, we had got another contract through TCC, and we hired a local grant writer, which is how we learned how to seek grants and apply for them. And over that year, I had also worked with the state and the Yukon Flats School District to turning the land and the building back to the village council. That summer, we had worked with Interior Regional Housing on submitting the ICDBG grant to HUD to turn the building into a multi-purpose building. I had also planned and administered another roads project, and at the end of that project, I was able to recruit 3 more families to stay in Rampart for the remainder of the year. We were also awarded a BIA energy grant to develop an energy department since we run our own electric utility. That fall, we were awarded the ICDBG grant, and shortly after, I got a call from Don Schercel asking if there was room in that building for classrooms if we were to work to reopen the school. And of course, that was something that my community and myself wanted, because the school is what holds our community together. The spring of 2015 is when former education director Ava Vent and myself attended our first school board meeting. We brought to them our renovation plans and how we can both benefit from sharing that building. After that meeting, Ava and myself worked with the staff at Yukon Flats and the state Department of Education on what we needed to do to reopen the school. The school board needed to pass a resolution that to reopen the school, and they would bring it to the state. But before that, we needed 10 registration forms in place. So I started working to get the word out to our tribal members. I had a meeting at a corporation office letting them know of housing and employment opportunities and what kind of sustainability we had in the village to keep them there after they relocated. During that time, I was also notified that Rampart was exempt from Senator Stevens' rider bill because we joined Interior Regional Housing Authority after 2005. So I worked to develop our own housing program, and thanks to the help of Tanana Tribal Council, I was able to develop our policies and procedures. In May, we had received 10 registration forms, and there was a school board meeting at the end of that month, and we drafted a resolution for them to approve the reopening of the school. And at that meeting, that resolution was approved, and everything, the registration forms, the resolution was sent to the state education department. We also received a $45,000 distribution check from TCC, which the village council used to build a 3-bedroom house in Rampart to relocate a family. In June of that year, the renovation of the building started, but the project end date wasn't until October. And so we hosted school in the community hall, or we asked the school district if we could host it in the hall, and they approved it. At the end of July, Commissioner Mike Hanley had approved the reopening of the Rampart School on a temporary basis to make sure we made the count. The village council also offered a relocation agreement which paid for families' move-ins expenses to come to Rampart if they obtained employment with either the village council or TCC and they had one child enrolled in the Rampart School. In August, we had relocated 2 families, one of which moved into the new 3-bedroom house, and school started August 25th. The teacher arrived in Rampart August 24th, and good thing she thought ahead because the school district sent no curriculum and she had to bring her own. So she did her own curriculum. At the beginning of October, we packed up our tribal office and we moved into the building. The children were not approved to move into the building until it was inspected and declared safe for their occupancy, and I'd like to thank TCC for paying for that building inspection for us. As of today, our permanent teacher has been sent for the remainder of the school year, and we hope he returns next year. I'd like to thank Mary Fields and Carolyn Frank for coming to Rampart and being the first teachers there in over 15 years. After being closed for 15 years, it's been a long road to recovery, but we're back to stay open. I'd like to encourage the villages of Birch Creek, Stevens Village, and Evansville. There's still a chance to reopen your schools and revive your communities. Don't ever give up. Our council is currently in the planning stages of how we are going to recruit more families to Rampart for the upcoming school year. We are in need of housing, and with the recent decision of IRHA board not to return our NAHASDA dollars back to our housing program and not being awarded the ICDBG grant, we really need to put on our thinking hats, but we will not let this stop us. We have come this far, and we will always work harder to make it farther. I have many people to thank for helping me and my community. First of all, I'd like to thank my parents, my grandparents, and my aunties for raising me to be a hard worker and teaching me the values of life. I'd also like to thank Caroline Newcomer for hiring me at Doyon Properties when I was only 16 years old. I called her every day that summer for a job, and I think she's got sick of me calling, so she gave it to me. But she's the one that taught me all about business and what do you have to do to be a good worker. I'd like to thank all my employees for helping to rebuild our community, our maintenance workers, our office workers. But I'd like to highlight Mike and Marianne Wheel for believing in, they were the first family to move back and believe in me, and they helped me the most. My mom for being my backbone and support and helping me in the tribal office. To all former and present employees for helping our community grow, and to the families that believed in me enough to relocate to Rampart. Thank you to former Education Director Ava Vent. Our school would not be open today if it wasn't for her. Also, TCC Legal, Education, and Administration Department for helping with everything. I'd also like to thank IRHA for hiring the grant writer that got us the grant, and also for their workers for coming and renovating the building. My advice to all communities is that you need to support your village councils and their workers. They're the backbone to that community, and just because you don't get your way doesn't mean they should get the brunt of it. And also to all other village councils, you're on that council to work for your people and your community, not for yourself and your family. Again, thank you, TCC, for letting me tell my story and be the keynote speaker at convention.
Patty, come on up.
My dad's right there.
Doug.
Chief. Hey.
Good example.
Guys, pass it a couple times.
So let's again hear for our keynote speaker, Chief Floyd Green. No young leader can do it without their backbone, and that's their family. Let's give the family a big hand, too. On behalf of Tanana Chiefs, we'd like to present you with a few gifts. We have a jacket for you of our past chiefs that commemorates the 100 years we've been in existence from our leadership from Tanana Chiefs. And we have a special print. Yeah, I was going to do print first, but this is good. You'll like this one better. We have a check for you for $1,000. And we have a special print from you of our chiefs that you can hang on your office wall proudly. Chief Floyd Green, on a bus seat for all you've done.
Thank you.
Yes, Chief of Allakaket, P.J. Simon. Thank you very much, Floyd Green. And that tells the story of Rampart, revitalizing a community with 8 people to 40. That is a success story in our history as we try to be strong Native people. And through Chief Floyd Green's story, he tells the story, but he thanks his parents for the values and his grandparents for the values that was given to him. Anabasi, Chief Floyd Green.
I too, am at loss for words and what to say for such an inspiration, hope, perseverance, love. That's what he shows today for his people, for his community, for his family, and for the future. Because that's what we so much look forward to, is inspiration like this. And I'm so proud of him and what he has done And I know that his family and his community is also so very proud. I just live downriver from Rampart, and it's just so amazing to know that Rampart is up and alive and well and running again. It's not a community that's dying. It's survived. And that's what our people have always done for us from the past. They taught us how to survive. And here is someone who just showed us that. Anabasi family. Floyd.
Again, on behalf of Tanana Chiefs and the Tanana Chiefs Executive Board, I also serve, as a tribal chief of our village. One of the things that his story that he told was his grandparents, and what his grandparents gifted to him was to be, honored and cherish everybody around him. And a lot of the things that he does in his community is helping everybody. Like how he said, not yourself. His grandparents is what grounded him, and that's what really when we turn back as being leaders, that we never forget that our elders and our grandparents and our parents are the ones that gave us that leadership and that heart to love everybody in your community. And that what really grows the community, and this community that came back from being shut down, now will have their lights on for all eternity. So again, I'd like to thank you, Floyd, for doing all that for his community.
Thank you. Come on, stand up, give him a big hand.